How about Tom Hessert, Grant Enfinger side by side. Grant trying to side draft a little bit off. Ooh, around it goes. Austin Wayne Self
in the 98. Look out, back across the track. Big crash as they come toward the start-finish line. Oh my goodness, what a hit.
You see the 98, it almost looked like Austin Wayne Self moved up the racetrack a little bit, got into Cody Coughlin. There's Brad Smith came along with absolutely nowhere to go. Now he's just along for the ride, doing it probably no brakes and no steering. But looks like that car didn't even slow down any.
Those front wheels, Phil, as he approached, it looked like he was maybe 15, 20 feet shy of that inside wall.
Be another shot of the Austin Wayne Self's doing all he can do to keep the car down on the bottom of the racetrack, but there's the contact between Brad Smith and Austin Wayne Self, destroying both of those cars already.
About the stock car racing career.
Well, his day was cut a little bit short, but it's still all smiles down here. Ricky Carmichael, unfortunate circumstance what happened, but were you able to learn about anything?
Wendy, we've got a problem. The 99 of Ricky Stenhouse almost up in the air. Almost over is the 99 of Ricky Stenhouse Jr. This could be the end of the run for the championship.
Boy, the right rear tire is gone on that car. We didn't see exactly what started this. We're hearing that he blew the right rear tire, which is what started this in our sport. You see the debris right there. The tire already went down. Justin Laughlin was having a great race. He had nowhere to go. He has a lot of damage, but unfortunately, this is the one these guys circled at the beginning of the year. Let's see if we can get by this race without having something go wrong like this. And unfortunately for Ricky Stenhouse, he did not get by this race without having a problem. Look at that car get up in the air. The left front corner, the only thing remaining on the ground. All four tires up off the ground.
Stay green. We stay green. I think we can stay green. That car was well out of the way over in turn 2.
It is, so we will race to the finish. 4 in the mix right now. Creed trying to hold off Perkins.
Oh, trouble.
Now they'll crash hard. The big one at Talladega is on the final lap. Will we stay green or go white? It's green for the moment. Creed, Perkins, and we do go to caution. Now that's an unofficial order, so we'll set that in a moment. But here is what happened to Doza going around first with Joe Graff Jr. behind him.
Yeah, they were just tight racing there. I told there was nobody giving any room there. Just a slight contact to the back of Doza, and around he went. There's another view of it right there. You see the gap between the 6 of Josh Williams and the 57. He probably got out of the throttle. He saw Leilani Munter down on the bottom of the racetrack. Joe got into him just a little bit.
Now here's the heavier hit that brought out the caution. Look at that 3.
There's that 3 wide racing with no room at all.
So Robaugh took pretty big damage there too. Lemastus is in the 54 Crosley for David Gilliland Racing, and then the Bama Buggies number 8 for Chase Purdy. Let's see who else might have been impacted. Gus Dean right in the middle, maybe took a little bit of contact.
It's like Josh Williams got by. He was on the very bottom of the racetrack.
So unfortunately, as is usually the case at a plate track, a lot of destroyed race cars.
Kind of reminiscent of Daytona. We thought we were coming down for the checkered flag and had an incident on the very last lap.
We had a lot of entertainment in the final stages of that race. At Talladega Superspeedway, just past the Tri-Oval, headed to turn 1 just moments ago, and here is what happened.
You see the 78 of Weatherman moves up the racetrack. It opens up the bottom for Gregson, but I don't think Will Kimmel knew that they were 3 wide. You see him squeezing the 78 of Weatherman. I'm not sure why Weatherman came off the bottom and opened up the bottom and allowed the 55 of Gregson to get there.
Yeah, it just looks like an error there. You know, you got to protect that yellow line here. You got to stay.
And a lot of really good cars started in basically the 3rd row. Took out at least 4 contenders. The 55 of Gregson, Weatherman, the 78, Kimmel the 69, Sargent the 77 was collected. And we are going to go red for the major cleanup. Also involved the see what exactly did happen. There's Moffitt in the 43, Eckes right behind him. Oh, it looked like the 46 just suddenly got turned to the left.
I think everybody in front of him came to pit road. Not sure if Thad was going to come to pit road. He may have turned right to try to avoid those cars coming to pit road. You see, but he got off the throttle for sure when those guys were stopping in front of him.
Running at almost 200 miles an hour, and this has just happened. Coming into the tri-oval, contact made. Actually, Steve Blackburn had slid coming out of turn number 4, got into the grass, and then we had contact in the tri-oval.
You see Steve Blackburn duck to the inside, then the car behind him looked like may have been the 25 car made contact. Then the 35 turned Mike Harmon around right in the middle of all these cars. And look at the hard hits. Alex Bowman goes up on 2 wheels. We saw happening live. It's what happens when you have big pack racing. There's Steve Blackburn getting turned around. See, Mike Harmon's going to get run into by the 35. Catches Joey Coulter and Drew Charlson up against the wall. Look at Alex Bowman up over the top of the 31 car of Mike Harmon.
Getting air at Talladega. We've seen that too many times.
Come this time, he still continues to battle for the lead with Sheldon Creed. The 15 is Michael Self. He drops down, gets down there smoothly.
See,
they're crashing in the back, and it's Brett Holmes, who was trying to get to pit lane possibly, goes around, and there's the caution.
Yeah, the 0-2 of Andy Seiss and the 23 of Brett Holmes, both were trying to get to the left pit road. But, Kevin, there's all sorts of room down there. You don't have to be right next to the racetrack.
Let's watch what happened first to Brett Holmes. Watch for the red car in the back. Oh, and somebody wiggled right in front of him.
Well, that's the 0-2 of Andy Seiss who's coming to pit road. He's on the brakes. You saw Michael Self definitely went by the commitment line on pit road. He had the option, though, of just riding down pit road at pit road speed and rejoining the racetrack if he wanted to.
Okay. And Seiss in that same situation, too, needed to pit.
But there's so much room down there. Kevin, there's 60 feet left of those cars. Do like Michael Self, he moved way over. When
on Matt Hunter. So this should allow these other cars to. Heavy Gibson. Heavy impact. Looks like Mark Gibson's car has come off the corner. Folks, I cannot tell you. We see Adam Petty, and the wreck is going to happen right in front of him. And watch as he comes off and goes straight in the inside wall. What? Oh, me. I think he's already hit the outside wall. I think he hit the outside wall, so he had no control whatsoever on the car as he went into the inside wall. Yeah, he had already sheared the right front of the car completely away as the car came across, so he had no control, no brakes, nothing to be able to stop the car.
Even with all the rookies that have been in the ARCA series this year, and I spoke to Frank a little bit too, and Frank said to get this 7th title is absolutely just a dream come true.
We got a big one over in turn 2.
Shot right up the racetrack.
Yeah, hardly replay. We can see exactly.
Oh, and we got more cars involved. The 95 getting tagged right there, Roger Williams, and the 9 of Joey Miller is involved. The 2 cars, Eric Almirola and the Joe Gibbs entry.
We're going to see a lot of that. I mean, guys will drop 5-6 spots in one lap. And problems behind our leaders. The 11 getting into the wall hard. That's Brian Silas, as well as the 78 having troubles with Dougie Reed. Wow. And that was a hard hit by Brian Silas in that number 11.
22. Stuck it in. There's Montoya right to the bottom. Little impact to the left side door there. Wow.
A little damage to the rear bumper also of that number 4.
Dougie Reed, a victim of the circumstance, just riding down there on the bottom, and pow! Look at the car up in the air. Man, do a whole 360 before it lays back down.
There's the hard one. Wow. Look at the official.
Yeah, the official knew to get down.
Better get out of here.
Again, we mentioned the safer barrier, trying to take a lot of that impact so that the driver doesn't have to.
He's going minding his own business, doesn't know what's getting ready to happen.
Boom.
Yeah, the problem, as you mentioned, Ken, how did he get on pit road so quickly? Well, he went when pit road was closed, so he's going to have a little bit of a problem with that.
Interesting start approach there by the 02 of Williams. He left the outside open, and it actually is going to hurt Tommy Prater more than anybody right there. We see Frank Kimmel get a run to the inside there and pull up the back bumper.
Whoa!
Little contact there. Milcaduno gets into the 2, and around they go behind him. Grant Enfinger caught up in this. Also, Tommy Hesser in the 77 up into the wall. Caution comes out. More contact. Bolamassis also involved in this. The 19. Yeah, we saw the rear wheels of Grant Enfinger off the ground completely.
Brendan Newberry, the 92, does an awesome job getting by, as well as Mark Thompson. Not sure if Mark made it beyond that or not. I think he did. He's showing 7th right now in the running order. Not too much damage to the 90, I don't think, of Grant Enfinger's. A little bit of contact there with Buster Graham, and the 19 of Donnie Neuenberger comes in and makes significant contact with the 48 of James Hilton.
Right along with the 35.
Front. There's Chase Briscoe. Will Kimmel been together the entire race. They have Gustine to the outside. They would love to get clear of him and try to do something with Josh Williams. Just 2.5 laps to go.
The spotters have got to be telling these guys, oh, and Gerhard gets shuffled out. Oh, hard contact into the wall. The number 14 of Dustin Knowles really slams into the wall. Another car, 2 cars involved. Gerhard is junk.
Mark Thompson, the 66, involved.
So the yellow flag is going to come out here, and the ARCA officials are saying to us, because of him.
Yeah, I don't think it had anything to do with Bobby Gerhart getting back out in line. It looks like maybe the 66 of Dalton Sargent just barely nudged the 14 of Knowles, put him in the outside wall.
And when Gerhart and Krzyzewski were side by side, that's what clipped the front end of Corbin Forrester, and Forrester goes down into the inside safer barrier.
Well, let's take another look back behind that.
Oh,
See,
no,
Dalton Sargent got turned into the inside wall. Bobby Gerhart was just trying to go by on the inside. He got into the inside wall as
56 laps remain on lap number 29 here of 94. Out in front, it's the 94, and hard into the wall goes John West Townley up the racetrack. Went Milcaduno. There was a car on the inside that shot up into the 15 and hard into the wall as John West Townley back into the inside wall now.
Inside of the racetrack, you see Milka. She's got room now, but when she gets there, she's going to veer to the right. John West was right there. Just turn him into that outside wall. Bobby Gerhart actually made contact with the 25 of Justin Boston in the aftermath of that.
Take another look. Watch the 35 move up the racetrack right into that 15 and hard into the wall goes John West Townley.
The 15 actually was coming down just a little.